Hello, this is Joshua Lampford, and I'd like to give you some reasons why I believe that downloading music is actually better than streaming music. I just got done with a lot of most of my college courses, and so I'm really happy about that. And I can tell you one thing that really helped me get through some intense studying times was have some great classical, ambient, and instrumental guitar music to listen to while I was studying. And in my study breaks, I also had some great upbeat Christian music to listen to, and that helped to relieve the boredom. And on that topic, I'd like to give you some reasons why I believe streaming music or downloading music is actually a better way to listen to music than streaming music. Just to give you some background information, I had an account with Napster for many years, and I was streaming music with that. But eventually, I realized that Napster wasn't extremely popular, and they weren't doing a lot of new playlists. And so I decided to cancel my subscription to Napster, and I was going to switch to Spotify and pay the $10 a month subscription fee to Spotify. But after I thought about it for a while, I thought of some reasons why it would actually be better instead of paying Spotify to pay to download an album a month. And that might sound crazy because it seems like the latest and greatest trend is to stream music. But I'm going to give you some reasons why I believe that downloading music is actually better than streaming music. So the first reason is that when you download an album and you actually buy an album, you are supporting an artist or a band that you really believe in. And the main way that any artist makes their profit is through selling albums. They can make some money from concerts, and they can make a little bit when you stream them on Spotify, but it's really not that much. In fact, according to Luckerson 2013, artists on Spotify only make between 0.006 and $0.008 per every stream. So that's really less than a penny for every time you stream them. And if you are really big name artists like Justin Bieber and you have just untold millions of people streaming you on Spotify, then you will make millions of dollars. But for most artists, it's especially indie artists and underground artists that don't really have as many people listening to them, they're not going to make as much from that. They're not going to make hardly anything, in fact, from Spotify. And so the main way you can support those artists that maybe don't have as many people streaming them is through buying their albums. And then the second reason why I believe downloading music is better is because it can actually be cheaper to download music than to pay a monthly subscription fee to a music streaming service. Now, I know that might sound crazy because a lot of people say, there's so much music on this streaming service, there's no way I could afford to buy all of it. But one thing I figured out is if I download just one album per month, and eventually doing that, I would accumulate most of the albums that I listened to and want to buy, then I could actually I could actually save money, because I went on the Amazon website and I noticed quite a few of their albums are under $10. In fact, they even have some $5 albums. But on Spotify, you're going to be paying $10 per month for a subscription fee. And if you are at a point where you're working a job and you're extremely busy, or maybe working 2 jobs full time, and you just don't have a lot of time to listen to stuff on Spotify, they're going to still take $10 out of your bank account during those months, and it will all be wasted. But if you are downloading music, you can choose when you want to download music, and then when you're really busy, then you can just skip music downloading and save a huge amount of money that way. And then my third reason is that if you the third reason that downloading music is better is because it's you don't have to be overwhelmed by having a huge number of playlists to listen to. And on Spotify, even if you're just keeping up with like one or two genres of music, there are so many playlists. It can get very overwhelming, and they're constantly coming out with new playlists, and it's almost impossible to keep up with all of them unless you're just listening to music all day, every day, which I don't recommend, because in 1 Corinthians 7:31 it says we're to use the things of the world as if not fully engrossed in them. And if you're just listening to music all day, every day, then you're a little bit too engrossed in that. But and so I think it's definitely is definitely less overwhelming when you've downloaded music and you don't have an overwhelming overwhelming list of songs on Spotify to choose from. And then my fourth reason why I believe that downloading music is better is because when you download music, you can just choose the songs and the artists that you really like. When you're a lot of the time, like when I'm listening to an online radio station or a Spotify playlist, then there might be a few songs and artists that I really like that I hear, but quite a bit of it is stuff that really isn't my favorite. But when I get to download music, I can only choose the stuff that I really like and then listen to it over and over again. And so that's a really big advantage. And then my fifth reason is that when you download music, you really value the music that you download, and you really appreciate it and really want to listen to it because you paid for it with your own money, and you own it. And there's just something about owning music that is just really special and makes you really appreciate what you listen to. And that brings me into my sixth point, which is you get to own the music that you download. And when you own the music, you can put it onto any device that you want. You can put it onto an iPod or MP3 player or cell phone, and you can burn it onto a CD and listen without an internet connection and all sorts of stuff like that. But when you're streaming music, then you don't own the music, and you can't just put it onto any device you want to. And so those are some reasons why I prefer downloading music over streaming music. And it doesn't mean that I never listen to Spotify or YouTube or anything else, but I hope to, after several months of downloading music and maybe several years, I hope to eventually get to the point where I'm mostly listening to stuff that I've downloaded. And so those are some of the benefits that I see in downloading music instead of streaming it. Alright, thank you very much.